Hey there, Chrissy here for Thermoweb, and I'm going to show you how to make these cards using Decofoil transfer gel. Now, what's cool about these cards is they also double as a gift card or money holder. I created them for a graduation in mind. You could really do them for anything, but since it's kind of the graduation time of year, that's what I was going for. So first things first, you want to protect your surface, and then you want to decide which stencil to use and secure everything down. I have a piece of watercolor cardstock, and I secured that down with washi tape. Then I put the stencil over that and secured that down as well. Now, don't be afraid to be generous with the Decofoil transfer gel. However, you do want to scrape off any excess. You want a nice thin layer by the time you're done, but you do want to make sure you cover everything. The thicker it is, the longer it takes to dry. The foil will still adhere, but I don't like to make it too thick just because it does take a really long time to dry. So I set that aside and let it dry. Then I came back and I put the foil over and ran it through my laminator. I did the lamination off screen. I don't have the means to show that, but I just put it in parchment paper and ran it through. So now all I'm going to do is stamp a sentiment. You saw I had the little powder on there. I just ran it over that strip of paper. That's the Gina K paper. It's the red velvet paper. I love it. I think it's so beautiful. Because I'm going to be doing heat embossing with powder, running like a chalk pouch or that little powder over it, that just keeps the excess powder off of your paper. So that way the powder only sticks to what you actually stamped. So you can see I just put the powder on there and everything looks pretty good. Now I'm going to activate it with the heat gun. I am using this cardstock because I'm also going to use the coordinating inks that go with it so that everything matches perfectly. And I also thought that this color would look great with this particular deco foil. I chose the Summer Rainbow. This is one of the newer transfer foils that came out. There's a couple of them. They're all kind of like watercolory. They're beautiful. So I have a hard time now. I love all of my deco foils, but I have a hard time now not picking one of these types that have like the multiple colors just because I think they're so much fun. So on my protected surface, I just took an ink blending foam and I just added some of that red velvet ink that is the Gina K ink, and now I'm just going and I'm flicking some water on it. What's so great about this ink is it stamps great for like sentiments and stuff like that, but if you put it on like a watercolor stock, you can also treat it like you would say like a watercolor type ink or like a distress ink, that you can flick water on it and the ink kind of goes away, it softens up. So I let it dry and then I took some sparkle markers and I added some more color on there. I kind of wanted to make it look maybe like stars or a galaxy or something just because that sentiment, it says reach for the stars. I mean, I didn't want to be exact, obviously. You know, the sky's red and not like midnight blue or really dark or anything. And I made 3 different cards, all that coordinate together, all using Gina K. So I have this one, which is red, and then I did a purple one, and then I did like the turquoisey teal one as well. And like I said, it's great because it coordinates. So like the cardstock I use, I'll coordinate it. So now I'm just going to assemble my card. You can see that I had used the heat gun. The sparkle markers, they take a little bit longer to dry. So I did use the heat gun just to make sure that everything was dried. I didn't want to get it like all over my hands or anything because then, you know, if I touch it, it could ruin it. So it smears. So then I just used my Thermoweb 3D foam. I'm pretty generous with the foam. And now I'm using my tape runner. I'm only adhering on the 2 sides. That way I have room that I can put a gift card in the middle, or if you want to adhere it a little bit closer in, you could put like cash. I just think this is really a great idea for a graduate. If you don't feel comfortable having it on the front, you could always put the strip inside, and then when they open it, it'll hold it in place a little bit for you, or you could use like a repositionable tape and hold it in there. So that way it doesn't fall out. So you can kind of see the shimmer and shine. These are the other cards that I created. Like I said, I used all the Gina K, so everything coordinated. You can see there's the one. Then this is the one that we just did. And then this is the purple one. That gold really pops with that purple, right? And that's the one that we did that's showing the gift card. So I hope you give this a try.